What is the future of food? Without farmers, humanity cannot survive. With a global crisis in food costs and production, climate change, the economy, government inaction, the shrinkage of space and time, farming is a crucial sector in our food systems that must be recognized, seriously considered, and supported to advance healthily and sustainably in years to come. Understanding where our food comes from, who farmers are, and how they're moving towards more sustainable and nature-positive food production is vital for us all.
WFO creates an opportunity for farmers to be at the table and to have their voices heard. It's more and more important that farmers be part of those conversations as policy is shaped, because the absolute crux of the situation is that farmers are truly the experts as to how to implement all of these things. We recognize agriculture as one of the greatest potential contributors to climate change mitigation.
We wanted to run a sustainable business. We didn't want to have run a business and have made money, but then to look back over our lifetimes and have regretted what we've done because we've had a negative impact on the planet whilst doing it.
I definitely feel like there's more room for collaboration between policymakers and farmers. It's our livelihoods and legacies that are built on our farms. I feel that farms need to be at the table with the policymakers because it directly impacts our livelihoods.
Uważam, że jest to bardzo ważne, bo to, co robimy dzisiaj, to robimy już dla następnego pokolenia. W dzisiejszych czasach, trzeba powiedzieć, że w trudnych czasach, bo czasy są niepewne, trzeba patrzeć w przyszłość pozytywnie i efektywnie dążyć do postawionych sobie celów.
I'm very excited to see what COP28 brings to us this year in Dubai. I know agriculture will have a very strong presence, and I really look forward to us all working together to address these challenges.
The World Farmers Organization, representing over 1.2 billion farmers worldwide, is the driving force behind this series of films which highlight the efforts that farmers and food producers are making in collaboration with governments, international organizations, and the private sector, who are working together to allow the farming sector to unlock its potential and secure a future for farming. We aim to inspire a positive change, to encourage people to think deeply about the agricultural sector by promoting farmers' best practices to mitigate and adapt to climate change while feeding the world every day in a more sustainable way. The WFO values innovation and embraces an approach that is bottom-up, science-based and results-oriented. Farmers, researchers, and stakeholders in the value chain must work together to combat climate change.
Climate is a big deal. We're seeing a lot of change in the bugs and the weeds and the different pressures as they creep from the south moving north as the temperature seems to warm up. So it's all hands on deck in a pretty fast-paced changing environment that can get pretty hard for people. I get concerned as well when we look at mental health when we talk about the impact of climate on food producers.
Farmers own the solutions to fight climate change, but they can't make it alone. There is a crucial role to play in the actions of stakeholders in climate action, with farmers, researchers, and the private sector working together for effective solutions. And it starts with the soil.
Los productores en Argentina entienden que la sostenibilidad es clave para la producción a largo plazo. Busca minimizar el impacto ambiental.
La siembra directa es una tecnología que está inspirada en la naturaleza. Tener los suelos cubiertos con residuos de la cosecha anterior o con cultivos vivos.
Esa cobertura que dejamos en el suelo protege el suelo de vientos, de erosiones. Entre las estrategias que el productor ha incorporado en su sistema de producción en los últimos 10, 15 años están los cultivos de cobertura. Hay más de 20 aplicaciones y entre las más principales está esta, capturar carbono de la atmósfera y ponerlo en el suelo.
Este sistema nos muestra que la intervención humana con ciencia nos da la posibilidad de regenerar, de mejorar.
Hay un dicho que dice que los campos no los heredamos de nuestros padres, sino que los tomamos prestados de nuestros hijos. Y realmente es así. El suelo no es algo que lo podemos comprar y reponer como otro bien que dispone el hombre, sino es un recurso que es el único que tenemos y en la medida que no lo cuidemos vamos a estar renunciando a calidad de vida, sobre todo.
Here in Canada, the environment is changing drastically. We start having more wildfires early in the season, and because of that, we have less light, more humid conditions, more hot days, and that affects the plants a lot.
Pure Life Carbon is a manufacturer of a bamboo source substrate that is being used in greenhouses all around the world now. It's a transformational product because we actually are the only substrate that is reused and recycled.
This substrate is kind of a panacea. It will solve many issues environmentally and will be good for the world.
What lies beneath our feet? Do we really understand the importance of soil in the farming sector?
Soil is the foundation for the lion's share of agriculture worldwide. What we need to see from a farmer's perspective is we need to make sure that as we approach these goals we've set for production sustainability, we need to keep in mind the socioeconomic sustainability of that as well, because so long as farmers can remain profitable, they're going to continue to embrace sustainability efforts on farm, because it's in our best interest to make our soils the best we can make them, but we also need to be profitable in order to keep doing what we're doing.
Soil is quite complex. It's made up of organic matter, minerals, liquids, gases, and living organisms.
It's essential that we see soil as a living ecosystem and subsequently manage it as one.
Acadian Plant Health and its well-established Ascophyllum nodosum seaweed extracts are proven to positively impact the soil microbiome.
Essentially, healthy soil contributes to broader environmental goals, such as reducing greenhouse gases, promoting biodiversity, and reducing chemical inputs.
One of the key things that drew me to agriculture is the need to be a problem solver and to look at the resources we have and how we're going to apply them in new ways. And that is really what gets me excited about the business at this time.
Seaweed extracts are packed with beneficial compounds that can contribute to the regeneration and stimulation of growth of mycorrhizal fungi and beneficial bacteria.
And the best part, seaweed extracts are natural and sustainable. This can lead to positive outcomes for all, the farmers, the people, and the planet.
How can innovation help in farming? Farmers play a central role in feeding the world, and every day they are testing and implementing new innovative practices and technologies that must support them to cope with farming problems like pests, changing weather patterns, biodiversity protection, and other challenges. A new approach is needed.
El futuro de la agricultura, tanto aquí en España como en Europa, al final va abocado a tecnología. O sea, si no nos vamos a quedar obsoletos, si no vamos hacia nuevas tecnologías.
La plataforma ARC es una herramienta crucial para la gestión y el uso sostenible de los productos fitosanitarios. Sin lugar a dudas, considero que FMC aporta, mediante esta herramienta, tanto al agricultor como a la agroindustria, una aplicación que une puntos claves como son sostenibilidad, rentabilidad y gestión de los recursos.
Luego, para nosotros es una herramienta también muy buena porque de cara a la sostenibilidad nosotros realmente podemos justificar, porque tú puedes hacer muchas acciones, pero claro, tienen que estar todas documentadas.
Y si le veo futuro y me gustaría seguir siendo el agricultor, que es lo que soy y es lo que me gusta, la agricultura.
I have a great team around me. I have my daughter that wants to farm with me. So I want to build a business that is sustainable for future generations. So for me, it's just a constant challenge, but it's also a constant opportunity to learn. The faster we can move things and the faster we can innovate and the faster we can get new products developed, the faster the road to sustainability becomes and the more sustainable we can become.
Humans get sick, well, crops get sick, they get diseases. There's a lot of issues with resistance, so technologies from the pharmaceutical sector, they can target specific diseases, and we think that being able to do that for crop agriculture is transformational.
It is the way of the future. This target-based approach gets you to a solution much quicker. and allows you to have very selective products that target the pests and not the environment.
For Elite Agro, the S in ESG means using the lessons learned in the arid landscape of home in the UAE to help others in partnership with the government, providing training for growers from rural African communities on sustainable farming methods and technologies that can transform the odds of achieving greater self-sufficiency in harsher climates.
At the end of the day, we are growing in UAE under a desert climate. By itself, it is a challenge. What is important is not only introducing new techniques, it's also to adapt to the climate.
An intervention goes beyond advice and teaching. Elite Agro have developed the Smart Farm, a portable kit that can make a defining difference.
Agriculture is in the heart of ESG. You cannot have ESG without agriculture because agriculture deploys 25% of the world population. It goes up to 50 or 60% when you talk about developing nations. Growing in such a harsh environment is a challenge. However, it's also a responsibility.
There's a generational fear that comes with farming. So many family farms have ceased to exist because of problems that they couldn't overcome at the time. We are starting to have trouble with herbicide-resistant weeds.
Our weeds have an ability to grow 8, 10, 12 feet tall. So from a management of weeds standpoint, we have a lot of challenges.
What we do is we use machine learning to identify weeds in the field, and then we have two 2-axis robot arms that, as the robot drives by, pull the weeds up out of the ground.
The iGen Element robotic platform is an intelligent platform that understands the difference between a crop and a weed, and it's also 100% autonomous and 100% powered by the sun.
In agriculture, you just need to keep learning, keep studying. There's always a new technology out there. If you're not moving forward, you're not going anywhere.
If we ever got avian flu here, it would just destroy everything we've ever worked towards. We would have to deplete the birds. You'd possibly have to empty for a year, so that's a year without being paid.
In the UK, we've had over 200 outbreaks in the last 12 months alone. Looking at the way disease is progressing, what the threat level is in your particular area, can give farmers the data at their fingertips to make value-driven, evidence-driven decisions about how they protect their birds.
And that data can cover wild birds, it can cover captive birds, it can cover disease, it can cover other things within the farm and become a complete farm management platform, a dashboard for the farm. It's about preparation, it's about prevention, and it's about planning. Basically, LiveTech are trying to build the future of livestock protection.
The app works really well, always tracking where avian flu is. It warns people what is going on, and that's what we need to know. Avian flu, this app is the only way we're going to bring it down and monitor everything that's going on.
Climate change is undoubtedly happening. We're seeing it on farm. We're always looking for new ways to make sure that we can be sustainable for the future. It's very good to work with a company such as Pilgrim UK that share our vision.
Pilgrims UK are committed to sustainability, regenerative agriculture and higher welfare production systems, working in collaboration with our farmers. Using livestock within a mixed rotation is a key principle of regenerative farming. We use pigs, supply them to farmers who can then use them as a break crop within wider rotations to help regenerate soils, to help biodiversity and sequester carbon. We farm pigs outdoors in a way that benefits the climate ultimately, whilst also delivering high quality, higher welfare pork at scale.
Methane production from cattle and dairy cows adds to climate change. But with farmers who have made a choice to change the way they feed their cows, it may become a possible solution to global warming. Bringing down methane emissions from cows contributes to the reduction of the effects of warming weather in farming and the wider world.
It's really important for farmers to be part of the solution for climate change. We've got the responsibility for feeding over 9 billion people. We've released a lot of emissions whilst we're producing that food. We came across a company called Mutrel. They developed a garlic and citrus product that could reduce methane emissions. It really appealed to us because we care about the environment and the climate, so we wanted to do whatever we could to reduce our carbon footprint and to be part of developing them solutions for reducing methane emissions.
It's a product we've seen that can reduce methane, improve milk yields, improve health parameters, all valuable things for the animal, for the farmer, and for the environment.
The Scottish Rural University College came to the farm every week. They measured a 30% reduction of methane in periods where we were feeding Mutrel.
We need the farmers' help, so why shouldn't they get a reward for helping us save the climate?
If we're at the leading edge of helping develop some of these solutions to reduce some of the emissions or to improve the sustainability of dairy, then we're proud of what we're doing.
Zajmuję się hodowlą bydła mlecznego i produkcją mleka. Jest to moja pasja. Zrównoważony rozwój naszego gospodarstwa jest dla nas bardzo ważny.
Interfood is a dairy trader. We connect the dairy players in the value chain.
Bovaer is a feed supplement through which we can reduce the enteric methane emissions of dairy cows. If we are able to reduce our methane emissions, we actually are able to buy ourselves time to really bring fossil fuel emissions down.
We want to collaborate, understand, invest in the farmers. We really want to be part of that change.
Together for Better is a core company value. For sustainability, it is particularly relevant. That requires togetherness not only from one single company, but from many companies throughout the dairy supply chain.
No na pewno dla mnie przyszłość jest pozytywna, bo trzeba.
I've been farming all my life with my father and my grandfather. Number one is to always leave the land in a better shape than you've had it.
It is tough to make a living as a farmer, so every little bit that we can do to provide a product that helps farmers improve their bottom line, that's a win for the farmer, it's a win for us, and it's a win for the environment.
We were founded really with the initial mission to impact global climate change. Today we can dimension that a little better. We believe we'll be able to reach gigaton reductions in greenhouse gases by 2030.
Some of the compounds within Asparagopsis prevent methanogenesis in the rumen of ruminants such as cattle and sheep and deer and other ruminant animals.
It's a particular unique red seaweed that contains a series of bioactives that can have a significant and dramatic effect.
The future of farming is pretty exciting with all the latest technologies, leaving the country in a better place for the next generation. I'm going to be very proud of what I hand over to my three boys down the track and for generations to come.
Family plays a huge part in farming. The legacy of generations of knowledge being passed down from person to person. Farmers have been at the forefront of change, with new thinking coming from new generations.
We need to keep our environment sustainable. We want to leave not only the land and livestock, we also want to leave our balance sheet in a sustainable manner for the next generation. Colborne Farms is a multi-generational farm. We grow cattle, oilseeds, pulse crops, and grain, and have a table egg operation as well. We chose to stay together as a family organization. A lot of farm operations do split at, say, brothers, and we chose to stay together as cousins and second cousins and to keep the farm under Colborne Farms Limited. The folks before us did a really good job of adapting technology and changing, and it allowed that foundation to be passed to the next generation for growth. And that is our goal, is to get our farm to the next generation.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the history of the farm and seeing Grandpa come in and checking on everyone. He's really proud, and so that makes me really proud of my family history as well.
Burnbrae's been on a sustainability journey for a really long time. We understand that we are the largest family-owned and operator Canadian egg producer, and we have a responsibility when it comes to improving our processes and reducing our carbon footprint any way we can.
We really have come from very humble beginnings, and really the continuity of the business and the continuity of the family are intertwined. It's something that I think we all take great pride in. We face a huge challenge because everyone needs products from farmers. I think it's critical that we as a society and we as farmers, evolve our practices sustainably.
We have solar panels on all 3 barns, and then in the summer we have too much solar power, so we're actually able to share that with the neighboring farm.
It's really beautiful for us as a family to see our values and societal values coming together in terms of how you define sustainability.
It's kind of hard to explain to people that aren't from a farm, but it's fun to always be going 24 hours a day.
Milk is incredible because it can be a source of protein, but it can be turned into cheese, liquid milk, ice cream. Everybody likes ice cream, right? A cow is an amazing animal.
It's important to take on sustainable measures because it's what the marketplace wants. And so we've got to figure out ways to meet that.
U.S. dairy contributes about 2% of our total greenhouse gas emissions in the United States. And that's why we, as an industry, have committed to a greenhouse gas neutrality goal by 2050.
So at this dairy, we strive to make sure that nothing goes to waste. So even on the water, that water is being utilized 3 times. We do that the same thing with feed. We utilize byproducts from other industries that would typically not be utilized.
My goal is to make sure that we're competitive enough and sustainable enough that if my kids want to do this at some point, then they have that luxury. It's a wonderful way to live, wonderful way to raise your children, and yeah, it's just a great way of life.
For centuries, farmers have been innovators. They hold an important part of the solution in bringing a positive impact on the environment. The families and communities that provide us with food to eat need support if we are to progress and face the challenge of climate change together. Our success in the fight against climate change hinges on working with farmers, leveraging their knowledge, experience, and expertise. When farmers, researchers, and the private sector stand united in their commitment, they can make a significant impact. The importance of collective efforts cannot be overstated. This collaboration is shaping a greener, more sustainable future. Upcoming episodes will delve deeper into these new practices and innovative solutions with inspiring stories from farmers around the world.